Hello, Blackhawks Nation! Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ Benoit. Thank you for tuning in as we uplift, support, and celebrate our beloved Blackhawks, jumping into their very interesting and fun centennial season. If you are new here, welcome. And if you haven't already, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me and all of us, really. And would love to have you along as we are building this awesome community. So thank you for being here. And also, we got our as usual, we got our 4 topics of the day. So let's dive in, shall we? The Hawks went into Vancouver and obliterated them pretty much all in one period. So this was all my prayers answered. outside of just a complete shutout. But man, what a third period. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's break it down. We had a big win last night in Vancouver, 5-2 over the Canucks. Chicago Blackhawks snapped a frustrating skid, which it has been a frustrating skid, and made some serious statements, right? So we got our 3 duds, our 3 duds, things to work on. And we'll dig into what shifted after that disallowed Vancouver goal. So let's talk about the studs. Easily, stud number 1, Tyler Bertuzzi. What a night, right? Third period hat trick to power the Hawks past the Canucks, right? He scored twice early in the third and then capped it off with his 4th career hat trick. Fantastic. Number 2, stud, Spencer Knight. My God, the backbone of the turnaround. He stopped 43 of 45 shots. Way too many shots. Staved off Vancouver's early dominance because they were running roughshod over us. And they gave Chicago a chance to stay in the game until the tide turned. And turned it did. Connor Bedard and the overall team depth contribution, everyone, I think, gets a little bit of a star. Bedard extended his point streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist. The bench and the younger pieces showed up at big moments. Sorry, I can't talk. Also worth noting, the team finally showed up in the third period and turned a tight game into a convincing win. So, as we know, first 2 periods, things were not looking great, right? Like, they just weren't. So things to work on. Start of game execution. Vancouver outshot Chicago 45-28 overall and dominated over the early periods. Through the first 2 periods, Vancouver shot 35 shots. 35. We had 19, which is fine, kind of on track, but they had 35, my God. And the Hawks obviously needed Knight to bail them out. That kind of defensive start cannot become a habit. Special teams and momentum control, we talk about this all the time. The game changer moment, the Canucks had a goal by Drew O'Connor disallowed after Chicago successfully challenged for goaltender interference. Totally flipped the momentum. The Hawks need to ensure that they're causing momentum in the future, and we're forcing these momentum swings, not just reacting to them. And we got to maintain focus after momentum. While the third period was dominant, you saw the late Vancouver goals from Raddy and Evander Kane. When you grab momentum, lock it in. We got to hold on to that momentum. Letting the opponent sneak back, it kind of weakens the statement win, right? Not totally, though. I'm taking it all day. 5-2. Friggin' beautiful. So early in the second period, Vancouver's Drew O'Connor appeared to score, but then we challenged for goaltender interference, and the call stood, right? No goal. And that moment was pivotal. Prior to that, Vancouver totally had the upper hand. After the challenge, the Hawks were energized and flipped the script. They seized the offensive surge in the third, and we outscored them decisively and rode it to a statement win, right? So it was more than kind of a win. It was a step forward. The Hawks shook off the dark clouds of the previous losses that we've had on this road trip. We showed mental toughness, and we leaned on our stars and depth when it mattered most. And we're not done growing. Starting quicker, controlling momentum intentionally, and locking down defensive lapses are the next chapters. So for now, enjoy that win, Hawks Nation. It counts, right? And it's against Vancouver, at Vancouver. I'll take it every freaking day. And it was pretty even, right? We were 5-5-3 going in. Vancouver was 7-7. And so now we are at 5th in the Central, I believe. And, we're looking like contenders. At least we're pretending we are, right? I mean, the effort's there. Let's take a look at the box score really fast. 5 goals to their 2. We had 28 shots. They had 45, as we mentioned. We only had 8 block shots. They had 15. So that's something to think about, right? They had 18 hits to our 12. Colton Dock led the team with 4 hits. We won 20 faceoffs to their 25. We were 1 for 1 on a power play. Beautiful. They were 0 for 2. And penalty minutes, we had 4 and they had 2. So there's a box score. Whew. But man, I love that. I love any time that we can say we handed Vancouver their hats. Love that. So let me know what you guys thought about the win. It was beauteous for sure. Moving on from there, we have we're going to take a little bit closer look to the blue line, right? So we've talked a lot about normally you got 12 forwards, 60. We've been running with 11 forwards, 70. So let's dive into that, to a dynamic shift that's happening on the blue line for us. Thanks to a timely article by Mr. Tab Bamford over at Bleacher Nation, we're unpacking the decision to regularly skate 7 defensemen and what it means for the squad's defensive development as a whole, right? So for years, the Blacks rebuild has emphasized youth on the back end, but the challenge has been giving those young defensemen the right minutes at the right time so they can grow without being overwhelmed, right? It's always a balancing act. The 23-24 era didn't allow for that. Young guys like Korchinski were forced into big minutes early, and the organizational depth simply wasn't there. But now things look different. With a newer coaching voice and Blashill and deeper defensive core, the Blackhawks have the pieces to protect and develop the young guys, not just throw them in the fire. So Bamford writes that this year, Chicago can call up the likes of Korchinski, of course, but we also got Ethan Del Mastro and Nolan Allen from the AHL, and we can feel confident that they're NHL-ready replacements. Blashill leaned into a lineup structure of 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, as we talked about before, and it isn't just for roster gimmicks, it's strategic. It allows Chicago to spread minutes more evenly among those defensemen, giving younger players lower risk, higher reward shifts, rather than all-in roles from the jump. So, like Levshinov, as a prime example, last year he averaged over 19 minutes per game. And this year, it's a bit over 15, right? So 76.74% of his shifts have started in the offensive zone this season, shielding him from the toughest starts. He leads Blackhawks defensemen with a 54.23 Corsi for percentage, showing that he's thriving even with more sheltered usage. And then, of course, the guy we talked about a lot this offseason, Wyatt Kaiser, who's really coming into his own. He's averaging 19.30 minutes per game, leading the team defenseman in expected goals for. His emergence is exactly what allows the Blackhawks to expand their defensive unit depth while still protecting the youngest players. Now, of course, the strategy has winners and guys who see less ice time. For instance, veteran Connor Murphy, once a regular top pair guy, has seen his role shrink. And as Bamford notes, some nights, certain guys are playing really good hockey and they'll get more minutes. And that's why we're dressing 7. So yes, sheltering young players is working, but it also means veterans may get fewer shifts and the team will need to manage depth, consistency, and matchups carefully as they grow. So the final take is what you're seeing here isn't just a lineup tweak, it's a culture shift. We've talked about that. Blashill's brought in a lot of difference in building culture this year than we have in the recent past. I'm all for it. I think it looks great. And the Blackhawks are saying, we believe in our young defensemen. We're giving them the space, the structure, and the support to grow. And that's huge for the long game, obviously. Levshinov, Kaiser, Del Mastro, Allen. These are names we're going to hear more often. The blue line is no longer just surviving, it's progressing. And Chicago is building the kind of foundation a serious team needs. So let's stay tuned on this. This is one of those hidden changes that can pay big dividends for us in the future. Love that. What do you guys think? I'm loving Kaiser. I'm loving what Kaiser's doing. Renzel's playing great. Levshinov, even though early in the season he seemed like he was a bit lost, he's coming into his own, like things are feeling like they're gelling, right? I love this. It's really, really cool. Moving on from there, I know we talk about the Hawks all the time, but we also are experiencing history in real time, right? So got to give credit where credit's due. I'm not even the biggest fan of this guy, but his stats don't lie. So let's talk a little bit about last night, highlight reel moment, and a historic night for Mr. Alex Ovechkin, right? He becomes the first player in NHL history to score 900 regular season goals. I remember watching Gretzky growing up, and obviously everyone always thought he would never be surpassed. Well, he's in the old rearview mirror now, right? Let's break it down and take a look. So back earlier this year in April, Ovechkin broke the greatest, right? Wayne Gretzky's all-time NHL regular season goal record of 894 by scoring his 895th goal. Fast forward to last night, Ovechkin nets his 900th regular season goal against the Blues, did a spinning backhanding puck past Jordan Binnington, who was in the goal, after his teammates shot caroms off the glass, right? His teammates flooded the ice. The moment was messy. It was glorious, but also, of course, memorable. And even a little bit bizarre when Binnington tried to hide the puck in his pants afterwards, but the referee got it from him. So here's where it gets even more interesting. While Ovechkin owns the regular season goal record now, there's still one more big target left on his list. He already has 161 playoff goals, giving him about 977 total career goals, regular plus postseason. Meanwhile, Gretzky's combined total regular and playoffs goals sits at 1,016 goals. So yes, Ovechkin hitting 900 is huge, but the next challenge, beating Gretzky's complete goal total of 1,016. Now, realistically, if he stays healthy, there's no reason that Ovechkin can't get there. He scored 44 goals in 65 games last year, and even at 3/4 of that pace for over a full 82-game season, he's still in the 40s on goals. Age is a factor, of course. He's 40 now, so staying healthy and keeping his speed up, it gets tougher, right? If he does pull it off, the argument becomes much easier to make. The Great Eight might legitimately be the greatest goal scorer of all time. So the Capitals are planning a big celebration on November 26th to honor his 900th goal and his 1,500th game, which he hit on October 25th as part of his club legacy. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest Ovechkin fan, but Avi clearly is a fantastic player, clearly in the record books. And so, got to give credit where credit's due, right? So, good on you, Ovechkin. Hope you have a great celebration. So, there's that. All right, now let's take a look at some hot takes from you wondrous people. So, Basspaw, who's becoming a repeat offender, has a comment about the videos in general. He says, I can't sit and watch the whole video in one time. Sorry for being long-winded, buddy. Wonder why you don't label the sections inside the video so I can click and bounce to what I want to hear first. A couple of reasons. A, I'm old and technology frightens me. And B, as we build this community, hopefully we will get to other people who can come in and actually splice and dice these things way better than I can. So, point taken. Thank you very much, sir. But you also said, in general, play hard, win 50% of close games, and qualify for the playoffs. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. So great insight there, Basspaw. Thank you for your contribution. Really appreciate it. Toyin, I'm sure I always say that wrong. Also a repeat offender. Maybe Knight's first shutout of the season tonight. Well, of course, he said that yesterday. No, but we were close, though. Like, we held that to the third. 5-2, we win all the scorings in the third. 35 shots that they put on us previously, and Knight stopped them all. In a regular game, facing 35 shots is a lot. He would have had a shutout. So, regardless, Knight was standing on his head last night. He's going to get that shutout. He's going to get that shutout soon, and you can just feel it. Spencer Hawk, 9742, repeat offender. I've always hated the knuckleheads. I like that. Hope we finally get back on track. Want to see Doc obliterate Reichel against the boards. I like Reichel. I hope that he does really well there. And Doc did lead the hits. I don't remember if I saw Doc hit Reichel specifically, but Doc was throwing his body around, which, of course, we appreciate. And Spencer, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And finally, Joshua Bauman, repeat offender. Joshua Bauman, 3209. It's going to be hard to keep a veteran presence on the team with all these prospects pushing to break into the roster. Very true, right? Because we signed Grzelcyk off of that PTO. Who knows? He might not be lasting or getting a ton of ice time either. So we got to put in these young guys. They're exciting. They're pushing their cause all the time. And we got a lot of forwards to bring on too. So yeah, Blashville's got his hand full. And that is a wrap for today, Blackhawks Nation. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for all of your support and for sharing the channel to all your friends and family and neighbors. Get them all in here. The more the merrier. If you made a comment, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, your expertise, and your passion for our beloved Hawks. And if you are a repeat offender in the comment section, thank you so much for your contributions. As always, absolutely an honor and a joy building this community with you. Just love it. So thanks to all of you as we celebrate the very best team in hockey with the very best fans in all of sports in the absolute best city on this beautiful blue dot of ours. So that does it for now. I am PJ, and we will see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.